Oh, it feels good to be out of January, doesn't it? But the window is still open, and what is going to happen, and what does it mean now going into the last couple of days of this transfer window for Manchester United? They're going to go through the definites, what is on, what is not on, what is actually happening with possible transfer targets on the ins and the outside of things, medicals, everything that's happening, along with a game weekend, and only 2 days, like I said, pretty much. Well, you could say 3 if you include today, but football is at the most, football's at the top of everybody's thought and thinking process right now in terms of what they're looking at this weekend, how much business will get done. United working overtime, it would seem, but yes, football is on again. We've got Crystal Palace tomorrow at Old Trafford, so that is crucial as well. We're talking Dorgu, we're talking Tell, we're talking Rashford, Garnacho, and that's about it. Everything else has gone a bit quiet. Is anything going to happen over this weekend? That's the interesting question in all of this. Could there be any transfer, well, let's say mega deals at this point? Because it doesn't look like anything is in the offing right now. There's nothing on Casemiro. There's nothing extra coming out there on any other player at Manchester United. It looks like business is done apart from what the obvious is. And we're talking Rashford to Aston Villa. We're talking Tell to Manchester United. Garnacho staying. Interesting one there, and comments from Ruben Amorim, which pretty much puts it to bed, I think. I'll get your opinions on it when we go into it as well. I want your live comments. How excited are you that January's over? For everything, really. Like, that January, that first month of the year, is a killer, innit? So, glad that we're into February and now moving forward. Really excited to see how Manchester United progress from that January, and it was chaotic, wasn't it? It was absolutely mental. In terms of games, what was happening, the travelling, the importance of it, and where United are at now going into February. Is this the clean break, the clean starts? Are we going to see the end of certain players and Ruben Amorim can fully go full steam ahead in the rest of this season right now? Let's just see what happens over these next few days. But I want to talk about everything that is actually happening and definitely happened so far, and where we've come from last night, from the Tell situation, Garnacho and Marcus Rashford. With Marcus Rashford and where we're at right now, the reports are, and they come out from Matteo Moretto, who is saying that Aston Villa are going to push forward with talks on Marcus Rashford today. This is fully being driven by Unai Emery, the Aston Villa manager. Nothing else. Villa are looking at other options, including Tell, but we'll go into that situation in a minute. There's a reason why Aston Villa are pushing forward for Marcus Rashford. I actually feel like this one could happen. Rashford playing Champions League football is a big, big thing for him, I feel. I don't think his ego will be hurt too much by going to Aston Villa. They're a better side than Manchester United right now. He cannot, and we cannot argue with that. Obviously, he goes on all the time about his Manchester United, his love for Manchester United. I think them bridges that we know are well and truly burnt with this, but Unai Emery has made it a personal sort of mission, by the sounds of it, to get Marcus Rashford in through the door. All avenues are closing for other deals for Aston Villa for forwards right now in terms of what they're looking to bring in to replace Duran. But Marcus Rashford for Unai Emery is a perfect opportunity for him to get another player in to use in his Champions League run and a run for Champions League places towards the back end of the season. And Rashford can be a big part of that. Let's be honest, if Rashford is playing in the Premier League, it benefits United anyway, because it's only going to highlight him more. Everyone is going to be focused on him, and if he's playing in the Champions League and he does anything in that competition for Villa, for instance, then it's going to be highlighted and built up. Like, let's be honest, Villa are a massive football club. This is a good move for Marcus Rashford, a very good move, and I think will definitely give him the opportunity of getting a certain amount of game time, not full, because I don't think he's replacing Ollie Watkins, but maybe he plays in one of the wide positions that might actually suit him. So when it comes to this move and why it suits him so much and why it's actually probably appealing to him, I think the wages shouldn't be a problem. I think United are in a position right now, going off the talks and what's been said, that they will subsidise some of his wages. Villa have obviously got Duran off the books, lots of money there to spend. They've got rich owners anyway. I think they're comfortably in a position to take someone on for 6 months with no obligation. There won't be an obligation. Villa won't want to sign Marcus Rashford in the summer. That's a definite. I mean, don't get me wrong. If he absolutely loves it there and smashes it, then great, and maybe we'll have a conversation in the summer. But honestly, no, I'm just going to say that now. I don't think so. This is a quick fix for Aston Villa, and I think it could be clever business for them, because they've got a shed load of money off that Duran deal, and they will go into the summer with a lot of money to spend. Marcus Rashford's back off the books and a place to fill, proper recruitment, go and get the target that they really need. That's why it benefits Aston Villa so much. Manchester United, well, like I just said, Aston Villa will be giving Rashford the game time. He'll be in the Premier League. He'll be in the Champions League, the FA Cup, plenty of competitions, plenty of game time, plenty of chance to actually add value to his price tag by doing something and playing well. I said last night it'll be absolutely amazing to see Marcus Rashford actually put the effort in for Unai Emery, and it will just highlight to every single Manchester United fan exactly where Marcus Rashford was for Ruben Amorim. But that deal, I think, now is... I'm not going to say it's a definite done deal, because every time Marcus Rashford, we've got hope of Rashford opening up talks with another football club, it's just disappeared because Rashford's demands are too much. I just don't think he's going to get back in that Man United side. And honestly, I go back to it all the time, and what I've said throughout this transfer window, I've said, look, Marcus Rashford and Ruben Amorim's relationship is dead. He's not always, and there was a piece, and I think Micah Richards was talking on his podcast. I don't care one bit for what Micah Richards says. I really don't. I don't think he's a foot of everything that's going on. He's obviously not a Manchester United fan. He's looking at it from a player point of view, which is fair enough. But his conversation on his podcast, alongside, I think it's Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer, I think he said it on. But if I'm mistaken, I apologise in terms of which one he was talking on. But he has been talking, and he says he has been in touch with Marcus Rashford and people around Marcus Rashford. He's not always training with the first team. He said it is basically a Manchester United using Marcus Rashford as the scapegoat and an excuse. Well, I'm sorry, no. We don't all get convinced by what's being said from the player's side of things. We all can see what he's been doing on the pitch. Even if he was still training right now, we wouldn't want him in our side. We would want him on the bench at best. He's not that good. So Micah Richards saying this and coming out on a podcast and saying he's spoken to people around Marcus Rashford and saying that he's not actually training with the first team. He's training with the under-21s sometimes, and then he's training with the first team. Maybe Manchester United are just doing it for the cameras. Maybe on these media days like when I go to, Marcus Rashford's there and he's involved and everybody's tight-lipped. But honestly, no matter what you do and how you look at the situation and what's been said and what I've been told personally, the relationship between him and Ruben Amorim is finished. And he knows he's not going to get back in this Man United side. So United in a position where, yeah, they may lose money. But honestly, if they get the right people in place around Ruben Amorim and this team starts to gel without Marcus Rashford, and we're seeing progress without him now, they may look at that and go, well, if we win the Europa League, we're actually going to be better off financially anyway. I know we need to sell Rashford. I'm not under any illusion that we can just let him rot and he can just run his contract down for nothing. Look, eventually he will have to see that his career is over at Manchester United, and his career in total will be over unless he makes a move and makes something happen. United have stood firm, Ruben stood firm, Ineos have stood right behind the manager, and it's up to Marcus Rashford. That's the situation we're in with him right now, and I just don't see how he integrates himself back into Manchester United after everything that's been done. That's a lot of games, and I've said this last night, and I'll cut it off at this bit and then get your comments in on this as well, but the fans probably will not accept Marcus Rashford back. Don't do this to the fan base, forcing us to support a player that has really disrespected the club the way that he has. He has not, or was not willing to train, and this is where we are now. Unai Emery wants him at Aston Villa. Honestly, I've got massive respect for Unai Emery. And if Rashford doesn't look at that as the opportunity to change his career and turn it around, I don't know what will. I really don't. Barcelona have come out last night and said it is virtually now impossible for them to make a deal happen. Villa are back in with talks with United today. That's from Moretto. He has said that Aston Villa are pushing forward because of Unai Emery's request to bring Marcus Rashford in. 6-month loan, straightforward, back to United in the summer. United sell him on. That's the deal. That's what's on the table. Dortmund would still take Marcus Rashford. Don't count them out on the last hour and United desperately trying to move something on. I think United will make a move wage-wise on the last hours of the transfer window to try and move Marcus Rashford out. If he hasn't gone, that is, this weekend. Monday is going to be off the scale mental. It really is.